We've got more FACEIT action for you, and you might have guessed by how Reddit is around me that it's going to be Toronto Defiant this time, and they're going to be up against Citrus Nation. Now, Toronto Defiant are the kings of North America. They've won both OWCS stages. They're unbeaten in FACEIT so far. They even beat M80 last week, so everyone expects them to keep their dominance going. Up against them today is the unlikely challenger, Citrus Nation. They made a bit of a name for themselves in Stage 2 with their strong run in the lower bracket. Zeb and Lethal going from strength to strength, especially Lethal when you factor in his recent collegiate performances. He really looks like the main man on this roster at the moment, and we're going to see them take on Toronto today. Now, Citrus Nation have actually struggled quite a bit in FACEIT League with roster availability, not quite having access to Zeb in a lot of situations, or even Lethal in some situations, and it's really hampered their ability to do as well as teams would expect them to do. So they come up against Toronto Defiant today, and we can have a look at how they get on with the sort of toughest competition available. I can talk you through the map draft before we get into it. So Toronto Defiant are going to ban Samoa, which is very much usual for them. Citrus Nation are going to ban Busan, again, pretty usual for them. And then Oasis will be the pick by Toronto Defiant. Then Citrus Nation are going to ban Pariso. Again, take away that die threat from Toronto, as many teams like to do. Toronto are going to ban Midtown, as they like to do. And then that means Citrus Nation will be picking Eichenwald. Then for the third map, if we need it, Toronto Defiant are banning Junkertown. And then Citrus Nation are banning Rialto. So Shambali will be the pick by Toronto, which is actually a little bit off for them. They normally ban Shambali, actually. So clearly they either have something they've been working on, or potentially they've spotted a certain weakness in Citrus Nation they want to exploit there. But traditionally, Citrus Nation pretty good on the brawl comps now, good on Shambali. So be interested to see what happens once we get to that one. But for now, we can jump into map number 1. We can take a look at it. We're going to be starting on Oasis. Very much going to be Toronto Defiant on the left-hand side of your screen. And Citrus Nation on the right. And now, the first thing you might notice is, even though we bigged him up a little bit in the pregame, it's actually Lethal they're going to be without. So Zomba coming in to cover for him here. And this is very much, unfortunately for Citrus Nation, been the story of their competition so far. They've been without their main man a lot of the time. Whether that was Zeb, Tap, they've not quite had their full lineup. So we're going, and Lep's got an early rollout, actually. Boot onto someone, doesn't force him off. And we'll get Sugar Free coming back with a Venture here, but he's going to get repelled immediately. It's a classic Venture off, and now we're in a Ventureless world once again. And it's going to be Citrus Nation taking the early concession of space, backing the way up to point. Toronto will be on his high ground as both Ventures will be coming back. We've seen a lot of Venture on this map. Everyone seems to be Venture pilled now on this map. We're going to have Toronto swing main, and we'll have a slower, pokier fight here again. Health advantage for someone on the initial Malga matchup. Now a slam to continue it in. Venture coming through as well. We'll burrow through, and they keep focusing down Zeb. Now, when you're playing this Malga matchup, if you can start shooting first, because Malga's such a big fella, it's hard. Once you start hitting him, it's hard to miss him. So if you get that early health advantage, or you get to shoot first, you can really snowball that into a fight winner. You see someone try and do exactly that there, where once he gets that health advantage, he's keen to stomp in, keep chasing Zeb out. Do not let him reset that health. We'll be coming on to the ult section of the fight now. Kitsune rushes, available for both teams very shortly. They're going to come around the corner, but again, RuPaul has this early pick, so on the back foot once more without their main source of damage. Zeb is going to have to run away. They high noon to keep it going, and it's all Toronto so far. Kitsune Rush is not even needed for that one. And we can also see a much quicker Cage coming out on the side of someone, which very much lends itself to what we've seen so far. Now, he's been winning those opening duels and putting his team in a very good position. Zomba going to come up, misses that initial rail, just force Sugar Free back for now. Sugar Free will use the burrow to regroup with his team. He's taking a step onto point. Here is Zeb. Someone's going to come peek out now. Kitsune Rushes will be traded. Cardiac Overdrive Cage on top of Zeb as well. They focus him down. The beat is there. Not a chance to trade the ultimates back, actually. And they had the overclock going. Forces the beat out from Vegas. So they do get a lot of ults out here, as Tap's going to burrow one more time. Desperate for a trade, but no doing. And now, big ult advantage, finally for Citrus Nation. They have to win this fight. They only get one more shot at it. And you can see Sugar Free actually hiding early on with his Tectonic Shock. Wants to try and interrupt the backline. But as long as they can get the feet and they can get the cage. But, oh, they're going to run into it. Burrow underneath from Sugar Free. They spot him out first, but Sugar Free can reconnect with his team here. Disengaged from Toronto back to point. Didn't manage to force any ultimates out there. Sugar Free on the flank again as these cages come through. Wants to try and get involved. They're going to wait for this beat to go. They can start dropping the ult, and they just high noon to focus down Zeb. Now the tectonic shot coming through. Tap in a lot of trouble. Has a Suzu to get him out. Wants to try and knock him off that map, and now Sugar Free has Zomba in his sights. Pressure on, misses for drill dash actually, but there we go. A little bit of help from Vega, they can take that one down. Control of the high ground, control of the main. And they won all the ult fights there, they won the neutral fights, they won all the fights, that's why it's 100% to own. And I think here, once we're in a Malga focused meta, it does become very ult focused, very macro focused. Can you get true value out of all of your ults? Can you convert the fights, importantly, we have ult advantage, or can you do anything to disrupt the other team when they have ult advantage as well? And it really felt like, actually, Toronto had all the answers there. When they had ult advantage, they had the finishing blow, they were clinical with it, and then when they had the disadvantage, they were actually able to get big value out of a high noon to neutralize that cage that Zeb had. And now it looks like we might have a very different type of comp coming out of gates for Toronto Defiant. They're going to dive. City Center, a much more open point. And it's going to be Malga, Ana, Lucio, Venture. So a bit of a mishmash of stuff coming out here from Citrus Nation. And they're going to be slower to the elevator. So it looks like Zeb's going to reposition himself and his team to come out main instead. This allows them all to have the high ground on the side of Toronto Defiant. And Merit will be happy to farm off his rail off of Malga. And try and do something kind of like that. Opening pick for Toronto, and now they make their move onto Zeb. They'll force Zeb back. Citrus Nation having to concede for space. Tap is looking for a trade here. We'll get underneath Merit, but Vega's there to help him out. And Merit should, well, maybe won't be able to deal with that. Venture is strong in those situations, so you can get up and personal with you. Then the Venture, they can really mess you up with their drill. Vega's gone what can only be considered too far into the spawn here, as Zeb's going to come out on the Zarya. Now, if we cast our mind backs all the way to stage 1 of the Doom Echo Tracer, Zarya cast very much did become a bit of a counter Doom composition here. So a lot of pressure on Zeb to get these bubbles right, make sure he has them for his backline when they need them. And they deny that Doom any value. And as long as they can do that, they should be able to push back forward with a highly charged Zarya. Initial rail will miss as Zeb steps on point, looking for the punch. Just onto Zeb right now to keep both bubbles. Will bubble tap in. Not all that much charge off that one now, and now big punch coming in from someone. Will go for it. It catches Tap, and he is Suzu'd out of that one. Again, still looking for the bubbles as the Suzu keeps coming. They're going to focus down Zeb. Zeb has a bubble himself, and he's just been run over by this Kitsune Rush. No way to get off that one quickly enough. And Toronto will come sweeping forward. And should be able to clean up a backline here as well. One last Suzu from neutral, but someone's really keen. Even drop a pulse bomb for it. Lep won't get back into spawn. And now it's looking desperate. We're going to get Zomba go Widow in spawn. Try and catch anyone too close. I don't think anyone's peeking. Maybe Merit's going to have one more. Sugar Free going to have a look as well.
This ends
and now we'll get the swap, but it's Merit early with the overclock. Wants to go early. Lep's taking so much damage. Vega's coming for a boop into the sky. The beat as well. They don't want to let Lep beat. He doesn't quite have it yet. The Kitsune Rush is gone, but not in time to save Zeb. They are still all over Lep. They don't want Lep to beat, but Lep has regrouped with his team. But they don't have a tank. They have to do it anyway, though. Beat forward. They need kills. Now Citrus Nation, they'll get RuPaul. Now the tectonic shot comes out from Tap. Looking to try and find something here. And they have found kills of that beat repush. Tap trying to go to the high ground, but can't quite make the jump there. They'll regroup on team, and Zeb is back with the boys. Sugar Free's going to go Ash in this situation, which is an interesting choice. So double hit scan Doom. Want to try and exploit the fact that they don't have a Tracer, they don't have a Genji, anything like that. The Zarya's a little bit slower. So a lot of pressure going to be on Tap to try and shut these hit scans down. Zeb's going to make an aggressive move, but goes too far. They don't get close enough. It doesn't look like that great and engaged. They're able to trade one back and Forfo, and Zomba's still getting pocketed here, but here comes someone. He had that big punch. He forces the burrow out of Tap as well. Tap is desperate for these trades onto Sugar Free, but they just about pocket him through. Even though this has been a very Toronto-favoured map, you can certainly see the power of Adventure here, when Adventure can force these jewels in the close quarters through getting close to them through the burrow. It actually just seems so hard for players to win that duel. The combo for the damage from Venture is so strong. Not all too many surprises there. An expectedly dominant map from Toronto Defiant, especially with Citrus Nation without their main man, Lethal. We'll move on to Eichenwald now. And we'll see if what kind of matchup we get. We've seen a lot of experimentation from Citrus Nation, leaning very heavily into the Venture. A lot of Malga as well. Even a bit of Zarya here. Eichenwald. I don't know why I got so northern for a second, but Eichenwald is a map where you can play a few different compositions. The high ground on second really sort of bait a lot of teams into wanting to run something more divey, which is what we'll see from Toronto right now. But it is a little bit trickier on first point, and certainly even more tricky on third point. What's also going to hinder them a little bit is they've swapped roles, so Merit will be on Winston here. No respect coming out from the Toronto Defiant side. Happy to get Merit his Winston minutes in. He'll be holding out the choke, taking a decent amount of damage. Sugar Free will work to keep him topped up. Meanwhile, someone will be in the sky on Pharah. We've seen Pelican do it, but now we're going to see someone do it. Laying down the damage here. He's getting a full Mercy pocket. We've not actually seen a lot of Pharah Mercy in a while, even though we've seen a bit of a resurgence of Pharah. But Tap is already in. Big rocket onto Lep, puts him in a scary situation. They're trying to help Sugar Free out, but honestly, RuPaul only has eyes for someone, and someone's going to try and trade him back, but the Suzu is good. Zumba and Neutral deal with that one. No problem. And Citrus Nation, we'll see if this has been an off-roll too far. We've seen them do it in previous series, but maybe not against a team as established as Citrus Nation before. We'll see if their hubris is punished here. Merit will take the usual Winston spot. RuPaul is going to go onto Alari now. I don't know if many of you have a big memory of RuPaul Alari, but it actually was one of the better ones when Alari had her sort of brief stint in the meta, and someone's going to kill Zumba early and now has eyes on this barrage. Suzu does not come out in time. Backline will be taken care of. It's a free K for someone. And Toronto will get a chance to go to the spawn if they want to, or honestly they can keep holding this choke where they are right now, because right above this choke for the Pharah, a pretty impressive position to play a Pharah from. Especially when they've got the threat of going over a wall with their Winston or their Pharah, or, well, both. Onto the high ground, raining down this damage. Zeb's going to make a move initially underneath someone. They're going to Kitsune rush through. Nade and Nano onto Merit here. Looking for a chance to go. We'll have the Primal afterwards. We've seen a lot of Nano into Primal combinations from someone, but that's not pretty for Merit, so this Kitsune rush will deal with for Winston. Turns out Nano Primal only quite as broken as Toronto make it look when it's someone getting the Nano Primal. Not quite as scary when Merit gets it off. So we get some space and they'll go hold close now. Merit's going to try and come through. Does a Primal to commit a little bit harder to this dive. Tries to bait out some of the cooldowns. Going to get peeked now by Zeb. Merit's going to have to bubble early. Chance to go. They beat defensively all the way in. Primal comes out. Gets to the low ground. Tries to separate the Malga here and has caught the Malga actually. Nowhere for Zeb to go. Surely no. He's managed to get all the way out. Merit thinks twice about committing to that one. And they've lost the high ground here, Citrus Nation, but they have stabilized, and now they've actually picked off the Pharah as well. No res available anymore. Vegas had to roll off the high ground here, and here comes Tap, and Sugar Free has to give the space. They're scattered. They're running in all sorts of different directions now. Vega and RuPaul coming back up, but they're going to get caged. Can Zeb just clean this all up? I think the answer is yes. There's nowhere for Vega to go. The cage so strong against Dive. We can see someone lurking behind now as Merit makes the Doom swap. If someone just trades someone... Well, you know what I mean. If someone trades someone else with this barrage here, it could just make it a very tricky situation for Citrus Nation. He's got eyes on the flank. And then Nate's going to hit Lep and Zeb, actually. Lep is super low. Are they aware of a Pharah behind? They're busy dealing with the Doom Fist for now. They're just going to take the split cast initially as Merit will get nanoed in. Suzu has been used here. Chance to use the barrage, but they've already got a 2-player advantage, so no need. They took all the map, they pushed them into a room, and they'll clean them up. Someone gets to hold on to the barrage, and they get to hold on to basically everything here, really. Citrus Nation, on the part of the map where most teams who run a Lucio Brawl struggle with. And we can see, again, look at just the amount of damage coming through from the Alarion, the Pharaoh on this cross. You've got Vega on the cast as well, causing problems. They're going to come through. They're going to drop with high noon, actually. Captive Sun to keep going. Wants to go in the room. Only catches the Malga, actually. They drop the barrage and get 1 for it. They're going to keep trying to push in here, but the Kitsune Rush means they need to take a step back, and they've used all their ultimates, so they've got a whole lot of nothing here, Toronto. And now the Malga's coming. This could cause them problems. Trying to look for the trades. Have to drop away from that Tectonic Shock. Not the perfect escape. Sleep is good from Sugar Free. RuPaul's going to need even more help, though. Just managed to regroup with their team. RuPaul's done a full loop of the map here, and will pocket Merit out as well. Merit needs more heals, and this payload is slowly but surely moving in. Avoids the stomp damage there. Nice finish from RuPaul. Detra to keep Merit up as well. Holding on. More people coming. RuPaul can't be stopped. But the cap. They need to stop the cap as well. They need help on the point. Sleep is good. They get the assassination. Sugar Free and RuPaul able to deal with everything. And somehow, some way, they've managed to stabilize here. They deal with Tap's last attempt for a trade. A nice fight by RuPaul. He's already got himself another Captive Sun. Start the fight with it, end the fight with it. Did a lot there to keep himself alive. Dodge all the Citrus Nation aggression. Now they are back to holding his high ground, but Zeb's on the point already. They're getting harassed here by the Tracer behind. Sleep will miss. Now has to pocket Vega Funas. There's a cage on point. Nano onto Merit. He needs more help, though. He's going to need more help than that. The cage is going to force him through. Now someone is touching RuPaul and Vega, desperately trying to come back. Someone needs to get the charge. Vega's going to get focused down. And ultimately, the cage needs objective. These ults are so good at fighting on the objective, like the cage, the Kitsune Rush. Doing the job for Citrus Nation right now. They've not got a load of time left, but this is where their comp should start to feel much better than Toronto Defiance right now. Another Captive Sun available. Meanwhile, Tap has the Tectonic Shock. It's to rotate for free, as is the nature of burrowing in the ground. Merit comes in, Captive Sun over the top, and they want to look for the trade here. Burrows underneath to avoid the magnetic grenade. Now looks for a little bit more. Tectonic Shock around the corner. Struggling to get too much value with this, and they've actually lost people in the background. Now they're going to try and keep going. The Burrow underneath again. Tries to catch anyone pushing into them here. Happy to drill dash them back. Holding the space in one side, but Merit and someone are coming either side. Can't hold all the chokes. Toronto Defiant get a big stabilization. But now Citrus Nation coming back with Beat. Coming back with a BAP and coming back with a Bastion. So about as shooty as you can get. A Bastion Batcast and a Malga. They want to hold aggressive, actually, and look where Merit is, look where RuPaul is. RuPaul's got the flank on him here, has to be careful, gets booped up. We'll regroup with Vega. There's the beat. Vega and RuPaul might be too close. It's only Lep on them, though. They're focusing different targets. They have killed Merit. Now Zeb comes to join Lep. Vega's going to try and high noon. Optimistic and will get beamed down. Sugar Free's looking for more trades. He's got one. Can he get neutral as well? There we go. Sugar Free. 2 trades. And the trades might be enough. They have to go give themselves on point. There's not a lot of time left. They will catch someone. And they will force Merit off this. Citrus Nation desperate for the rest of their spawns to get here, though. But they're slow, walky boys. They could do with a bit of speed. But Leppen, Zeb will anchor point. Coming back now, RuPaul has another Captive Sun. No great answers just yet. Zeb is close. And oh my god, Tap with such an aggressive swing. The Lamp not in time to save him. Now the Captive Sun back. Zeb's going to take so much damage. Needs more help. But Cage is onto Merit. TP out, but Merit can't take it in time. Citrus Nation, they have a chance here. They're pushing around the corner. Merit will be coming back with the Meteor Strike. But Neutral just has this window. If they connect on this window, connect a big bomb maybe, they can just finish it. Window round, but the anti is good, actually. Anti is good. Zeb will fall. Now the Bastion's coming back. The Lamp doesn't save Zumba either. Desperately trying to find a kill with this window, but now Merit's on top of him. And they'll be forced to stop there. Stop just shy of third point.
Score
Toronto having a bit of fun. Some stylish plays. Can still see the individual quality, actually, I think. For those who haven't seen RuPaul play Illari before, it is actually one of these better heroes. Illari's just been not a very relevant hero for quite a while, and obviously a lot of the comps you play it in, you'd also play it with a Baptiste or something, which means RuPaul is very rarely actually gets to be the Illari guy anymore. Even though it's definitely one of his better heroes. Not sure we can say the same for Merit on Winston. Yeah. I mean, someone's still been getting value on the DPS. What can't that guy do? But now with that distance, it's not unwinnable at all from Citrus Nation, and they can maybe make Toronto think twice about off-rolling against them next time. Now we're going to get a Merit Malga. Someone going to move on to the Venture, potentially. Interesting that we see Citrus Nation, regardless of them not having lethal or not, it very much feels like this comp is maybe what they want to lean into as some of their anti-dive solution. The Cass Venture. Obviously, Malga's always been relatively effective against Winston and Doom and these sort of tanks. And we'll get the Malga Mirror. Sim coming out from someone. So let's see where he wants to take these teams. Zeb's going to swing early, actually. They just want to push into them here, but push back. But Zeb's gone so deep. So deep just into all of the Toronto Defiant. So they can just focus him down. Don't even need a TP in the end. Tap's going to look for any trades, but they've died so late and the capture's going that this recontest is really not on. Even if they continue to have more problems dealing with this Venture. Tap is still alive. There we go. They've dealt with Tap. They have actually come back onto point here, and someone is all alone, but Toronto Defiant will swiftly regroup with him. Now they can join Merit on point. Merit has the health disadvantage here, but still Zeb's going to get chased out. Merit with the stomp to chase. It's a good stomp by Merit. Needs more pocket out of this, but takes the entire map for their team, and now can plow forward. And they're so keen to get the stagger kills here. Stomp onto Zeb again. Tap. Always going to care these Venture trades. Always a chance here. The boop is good, but RuPaul makes himself a target instead of Vega, but the peel is good from Sugar. And clear sailing, actually. Clear sailing. Now they want to hold forward. They've got an early cage. They're going to Kitsune rush into the spawn here. More pressure onto Zeb, who's going to try and stomp out of that one. Tap going to keep trying to tectonic shock him back, and they've held him off, actually. Well, RuPaul's not really got out of there at all. So player advantage now. They'll try and sim TP back. Merit wants to take the cage trade, but a beat over top. RuPaul not there to beat back, so Merit's going to have to try and run. Vega did not give the memo. Vega is in there high nooning. A series of optimistic high noons from Vega don't work out. And Citrus Nation get the stabilize. They get the stabilize. Now beat advantage, thanks to, well, I guess thanks to dying in spawn from RuPaul, we now has beat advantage. But Kitsune rush and cage can't really find that with beat, so they might still be having to look for a disengage type situation here or a TP around it. They're going to try and beat versus Kitsune rush. Do catch everyone looking for the trade on Tap. Do get Tap. Have to care in this cage, but Zeb's probably too low. It's scary to press the button now if you're Zeb. RuPaul looking for the finish. This Malga is frustrating to kill. Vega will join RuPaul now. Surely now they can deal with this Malga. RuPaul gets his man. And Toronto will be on the verge of a cap fight, but let's traded 2 people. And now RuPaul's going to get caught as well. At this point, they've not just traded kills, they've just won the fight, Citrus Nation. Merit's going to have to die on the payload. He'll take what meterage he can get, but he's up against everybody. I didn't see how Leb managed to get that one, but 2 trades, can't complain. Simwall coming back, and obviously they've not really utilised this TP all that much so far, Toronto, but they could just go underneath TP to point. They're going to TP into Castle initially, but they TP into a cage. Simwall to help them fight the cage. Left with the beat over the top. High Noon now as well behind them. They do focus down Zeb. They deal with the High Noon as well. And Toronto Defiant, they can keep walking forward, but they've lost Sugar Free again. Tap keeps finding that kill. They keep trading Sugar Free, but is it enough to stagger back onto this point? Neutral and Zumba are behind. Vega wants to push it, actually. Vega happy to take the cast duel, isn't scared. Wants to keep going. Not scared. Zumba's peeks around the other corner and killed RuPaul. They need Vega to try and win this one. Pressure on it. Will High Noon as well. Forces Neutral out. Zumba's going to come one more time. This time Vega's got him. Neutral behind as well. They've won the fight on point. Vega's won the fight behind. Took him a while, but now 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Toronto got to be feeling good about this one as they go on to Anna, Kiri, Mauga. Lep's going to match the Anna. Historically, I think it'd be fair to say that RuPaul's Anna has better than Lep's. Nate's going to force an early Kitsune rush as it comes in. Tectonic shock over top as well. I lied, there's always no tectonic shock. I'm just seeing things. Toronto are going to try and disengage with the remaining people. They're looking to try and catch any overextending players here, but Zumba's goes low. Nade comes in again, but Toronto avoid it. Sleep onto Tap, actually. They catch him. Can they finish it? No, it's actually Sugar Free who dies for it, and Zeb's going to stomp to make sure Tap will be okay. Tap looking for more. Threatening to burrow on top of them, and Toronto are just going to slow it down, wait for Sugar Free, but now they've lost Vega. All right, they'll slow it down some more, continue to wait for Vega. Citrus Nation continually frisky at the choke. Neutral's either going to get himself outside here, take a bit of a duel. Got a big angle now. Tap trying to spam him down. They come through. They just catch Tap, actually. Probably doesn't help that Neutral's on this massive angle behind. So main source of pocket. Now Neutral TP's back to point. We'll anchor it for now, but it's an awfully deep left. Can't get the sleep off. Will get stomped and mowed down by Merit, and now Merit's got more in his sight. Has the cage to finish this one potentially as well. Toronto on the verge of sealing the match victory. Merit's hiding. Looking for it. Catches them all, has caged him off point as well, but needs a lot of help here. They'll TP him out of that cage as well. They do kill it with the Bastion. Stomp coming in again, slams the Bastion down, forces it back into spawn. Merit just trying to keep his backline contained. Has to reload, regroup onto point, gets in the cage, but hits Tap with this one. They might have just stabilized. Need to deal with the lab. Can't quite deal with the lab. The pocket is now so good of a Bastion. No! Merit's team's going. Nobody can stop this Mauga. A real raid boss of a hero at times there. Especially with the nade healing over the top as well. Just shoots that health right back up. Citrus Station managed to stabilize with 1 minute and 20 left. Zumba close to the Bastion ult, left close to the window. Not all that much on the side of Toronto, just the cage. But they do get this early pick out of nothing. They're going to try and trade aggressively. Zeb comes flooding in. Tap is in as well. Looking for the trades. Merit is 1 HP. They all get out for now. Someone is low. Tries to juke him with the TP, but no. Cannot get out. And Tap again continues to find trades when his team needs it most. They're keen to chase RuPaul down here, and they are all coming. Sugar Free will TP to RuPaul, has to Suzu as well. RuPaul nades and drops off, but Neutral was still chasing all the way. Now the Bastion ult, where is it going? At the spawn door. And Citrus Nation will be holding forward. 35 seconds left on the clock, and Toronto actually kind of running out of time now. They need to win this fight.
30 seconds.
They have the symbol, they have the Kitsune Rush, they have the cage, they should have the tools to do it. The Citrus Nation are holding close. They want to get 2 fights out of this if they can. An early window, but the sleep is good onto Lep. Now Merit's going to slam on top of it. The nade is good too, and the cage. They are piling over it. They lose Merit, though, before the symbol comes out. Zeb's still using this window. Citrus Nation are stabilized. They're having to walk without their tank now. But someone is full beam. Has killed Zeb. Someone's going to get another one. The DPS duo swing. They get the kills at the most crucial time. And now, all of a sudden, Merit is back on Reinhardt. They have Kitsune Rush. They have Nano. You have to imagine it's going to go. They're both going to go on to Merit. Let this man swing. Can drop the High Noon as well. Bastion swing's going to come out. Just trying to live this initial one for now. A chance to go with Nano. But Nano actually went on to Vega. They do find the Bastion kill. Now a chance to walk forward for Merit. Low on shield. Tectonic shock. Slowing him down, just trying to absorb that. Looks for the pin, separates Tap. Tap will go underneath. Tap's trying to go all the way behind, just shielding his team off of that one, Merit. responsible Reinhardt gameplay from Merit. They should be able to clean this up from here. Let will lamp himself onto point. Maybe Zeb can touch one more time. Just have the cage. No, no doing. No doing. And it will be a Toronto map victory. Maybe not the prettiest one you've ever seen from Toronto. But even off-rolling against a team the quality of Citrus Nation, even without their main man lethal, fairly impressive. We can take a look at some of the scoreboard. Obviously, this is back on Oasis. We saw that someone actually went 27-0. So if you don't die, it's normally a good sign. Vega also with a deathless opening map. 23-1 for Merit. And then as we went onto the other side, we actually get a 51-12 from Vega on the Cass. Maybe he's wasted on Lucio. RuPaul with a 41-10 on Lucio, so you make the reverse argument here as well. So dominant from Toronto. A bit of fun at the end as well with the off-rolling. Fair play to Toronto. Happy to give their team a few additional training weights to get themselves through that one. For Citrus Nation, this isn't one of the games they'd expect to win, but it is a little bit more of the same of when will this team be able to field their full strength roster consistently? Because when they can do that, their team's really good. But so far in FACEIT, it's been a continuous problem. In terms of player of the match, I don't know who I want to give it to. Do I want to give it to someone? I guess he was he Def? Was it him? He was on Deathless on Oasis, right? Deathless on Oasis. And then pretty good on Pharah and Echo. A reasonable DPS performance. Happy to give it to someone. RuPaul quite impressive as well, the Alari. But yeah, happy to give it to someone. Good Pharah, decent Echo, decent Sim actually as well. I guess he really is the Flex God. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.